think I have an echo on my end, but hello and welcome to M3 Live. My name is Malcolm Travers. Male Media Mind is a grassroots organization dedicated to uplifting and unifying our community through dialogue, insight, creativity, and knowledge. And every Wednesday at 7 p.m., I invite my friends to help me break down issues that are needing of more perspectives and experience. Those are usually around relationships, spirituality, personal development, sometimes philosophy. I love that. And maybe some pop culture things. Who knows? But as always, I like to get your input as we discuss them. So when we get a chance, we'll get to your comments and questions. Ask away. Let me introduce you to the panel. Today we have Swag from the Swag Suite. What's going on from those TikTok streets, and from our very lively panel last night. Not expected to be that entertaining. It was great.
A good time was had by all. It was a lot of fun.
Yes. And of course, the sexy Swami, the thespian from Texas. What's going on, Cream Diggler?
Oh, everything is everything. I'm just happy to be here on this rainy night in Texas.
Yes.
It's very rainy.
I'm going to have to upgrade this panel for tomorrow. You're starting at 7 instead of 8.
That's correct.
Yes. I will get that immediately.
Don't be late, children.
So, I have a few topics today. I was trying to do a little bit of last minute research on this one because I just nabbed this one off of TikTok maybe like an hour ago. And it was someone who was talking about like cult leaders, and he was kind of joking, but serious. Like, why are cult leaders so charismatic, and they get people to sacrifice their lives, but at the same time, when you take a look at these guys, they look so fucking ordinary. They really do. They look very plain Jane in their yeah. So let me play this.
I think the thing that really baffles me about all of this is that he's not even hot.
Really funny video there from Kylie Brakeman about how it's weird that Donald Trump commands this massive cult of tens of millions of people, yet he's maybe the least conventionally attractive president we've ever had. But this is an actual phenomenon that I would like to talk about, because I can't tell you how many times I've been watching a documentary about a cult, and before they ever show you the cult leader, they'll interview cult members and they'll be like, the first time I ever met Keith Raniere, I was instantly attracted to him. He just has this inexplicable magnetism. He just draws you in with this gravitational force. And then they finally show you who Keith Raniere is, and it's literally this guy. And you're just like, I'm sorry, what? You're telling me thousands of people like abandoned their families and ruined their lives to stay up all night playing volleyball with this guy? And they're all like really impressed because he taught himself how to play Moonlight Sonata on the piano when he was a teenager, and he busts it out at every party where there's a piano. And I'm just like, I taught myself how to play that song on the piano when I was a teenager, and Clocks by Coldplay. And I also obnoxiously used to play it on the piano at a party anytime there was a piano there. But then I stopped doing that when I was like 16 or 17 because I realized that it was not cool. Or another good one is the documentary about the cult at Sarah Lawrence. In this documentary, I shit you not, there is a Harvard graduated doctor, a PhD from Harvard, who allows her life to spiral into shambles. She goes completely insane and becomes a shell of a human being because she meets Larry Ray. And everyone that's in this cult is like, Larry's the most amazing guy. Larry is he's the smartest man any of us have met. We're all in love with him. Everybody wants to be romantically involved with Larry. And this is Larry Ray. This is who like everyone is like destroying their lives for. Is Larry. And when you hear him speak, it's even worse. Like when he's talking, you're like, maybe when he talks, it's better. Like maybe there's something about the way that he speaks, or his phrasing, the way that he presents an argument. No, it's even worse when he talks. For a long time, the FLDS church was led by a guy named Warren Jeffs, and everyone was convinced that Warren was the direct vessel for God to speak to humanity, that Warren spoke to God and that God spoke through Warren. And because of this, everyone just let Warren marry as many children as he wanted. He got to marry, 10, 11, 12-year-old girls. And that's him. That's Warren Jeffs. Just an entire community of people who are like, that's the guy. That guy, that's the guy. That guy's talking to God, and we got to let him marry all of our kids. And I don't know what it all means. Like, my armchair theory would be that these are just men who are deeply wounded and problematic and predatory, who desire unchecked power so that they can be predatory at an unchecked level. And because they are not conventionally attractive, they have developed really honed in manipulation skills to, like, brainwash people and get inside people's heads. But I don't know, that's just my theory. I've watched Donald Trump speak a lot publicly. Like I've watched all of the same speeches that all of his cult members have watched, and I don't see it. Like whatever the manipulation tactic is that he's using, it's never once gotten through the screen to me. I've always watched it and been like, what is everyone seeing that I'm not seeing? Because not only is he one of the least conventionally attractive presidents we've ever had, he's also, there's nothing about him that's attractive. There's nothing about the words that he speaks that are attractive. There's nothing about his ideas that are attractive. I don't get it, but it is a funny and weird thing that's sure a pattern, I guess, that exists out there. I don't know.
So no, I did. I went down a rabbit hole after that. I was like, "Is this true? Is this true?" And there's at least some contradictory information to say. Like there are some cult leaders who are conventionally attractive, but
Right.
there is like I guess the concept that they said two things. One, it is true that people who are in seats of power already have a certain amount of attractiveness because of the way that they influence other people. So like
Mhm.
once you've learned how to manipulate people, once you start that ball rolling and you have some people around you who are into it and you see they are into it, it's like, well, maybe I'm into it. You know, like,
Right.
it's not necessarily the person, it's like the entire environment, right? Like if
Mhm.
there's people circling this person, you tend to go into it. The other is projection, right? So like the person is weaving a narrative of some sort that you already buy into.
Yeah.
Typically, these people are not like creating stuff out of whole cloth. They're borrowing stuff from the culture. They recognize it in certain ways. One that I found hilarious is I can't remember the guy's name, the founder of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard.
What is-
Right?
Yes. Mhm.
So, like, I think the reason I find it funny is that he's a science fiction writer who, I guess, along the way, decided to start a religion. Which is not crazy because I've read science fiction where like characters in the book have created a religion, and I'm like, maybe he's just like, wait, I could do that.
I mean, literally, I think you could.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a book by Octavia Butler called the Parable of the Sower, and that's
Mhm.
literally the theme of the book is like there's this character who has like a special powers of empathy, like she can literally feel other people's pains. And in the book, she starts a religion called Earthseed. And as she's like preaching it, I'm like, I wish this was real. Like what she's preaching sounds awesome. So I can see science fiction writers maybe becoming cult leaders, I guess,
But I totally agree, though. I think that's Trump's power it's that he really doesn't have any power. It's that people are able to project all their worst behaviors onto him and approve of it, right? Like, oh, he jacked off the microphone during a speech. I would love to do that. Yeah, fuck the PC police. It's like it's that. Oh, he said retard out loud and da, 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 da. Oh yeah, I love it. It's like it's a lot of projection going on. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't,
Yeah.
It
Exactly.
validates their worst impulses. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And-
And I think also what's going on here is like because I've seen like some of these red pill dudes that like there's this one dude and I saw a video of his not attractive at all. Just not looks like 98 pounds soaking wet, like no facial hair, like nothing going on there. And he is talking like, oh, I'm gonna get your girl, and she's gonna fall in love with me, and and this is like, are you serious? Like, I wish I had that confidence, dude, because I'm just like, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. But for some reason, I think sometimes it's there are projecting like this image of like, hey, I want to live the life that he's living. I want to be like him. And that somehow like it endears those people to him, and they basically get people whatever they want.
I agree. Like I think sometimes if someone is too attractive, they can be intimidating. Right.
yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
like if you are kind of homely, you can say, well, if he's successful and that plain Jane, like I could be it. I could do that. I could get there. Yeah, it's really bad. Let me see. I looked up some of these things. There's projection. There's the seat of power. There was this idea of inferiority can can spawn a sense of narcissism. They call it vulnerable narcissism. So there's two types of narcissism. There's vulnerable narcissism and grandiose narcissists. Grandiose narcissists are the ones who, really do think they're the shit, but they're these vulnerable narcissists who know that they are insecure or whatever, and they sort of need to build, a
Donald
following.
Trump.
Yeah, he really is a narcissist. He really is.
Like he is constantly asking people, like, what do people think? Are people agreeing with me and stuff like that? It's like he's so easily influenced by what other people think about him. But yes, he always acts like he is the shit.
Yeah,
unfortunately, that shit works for him.
It does. And I don't know. I think like in the future, I think I'm going to take a page from what Jeff was saying earlier when. Like a lot of the news at this point, I just can't take seriously anymore. Like I think recently, like I am following the news more in politics than I would like to admit, because I'm, and I'm trying not to take it seriously, but like looking at it and sort of laughing at the cult, because this is one thing. I don't think the cult members are ever going to admit that they were wrong.
Right. Of course not.
Yeah. And I think, even when the policies are detrimental, because I remember someone made the point that Trump has all of these little cheap product vendors that he's importing from China. Like his own tariffs hurt his own businesses. like I don't think he cares. Like there's a point at which like it's going to hurt these people, and they're not going to care, and they're not going to acknowledge it. But I think I can still get some sort of palliative from it. Like even if they won't admit it, I can still like laugh at them for some of this shit. And I think the one that got me was the Defense Department guy, Hegseth.
Oh yeah.
So like there are some serious allegations of sexual assault that his own mother wrote to him about. And they had the emails, like his own mother was calling him a sexual predator. And now the mother is on Fox News saying, like, you're so predatory. They called me and they said, they basically asked her for comments, that they were going to publish it even if I didn't say anything. It's like, yeah, but they called you. And after the comment, the predatory thing would be to just leave you out of it. They had
right.
They called you for a comment.
Right.
Like, oh
you said something earlier that made me think about this joke that I've been hearing lately online. Talk about like they will never admit that they're wrong. This is how many Trump supporters does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know.
None. He'll just say that he fixed it, and they'll just stand around cheering for him in the dark. But it's true. It's like they literally will not admit, and like because there is a lot of like people finding out that like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have voted for him and stuff like, but they won't admit. They will not admit to anybody that like they might have made a mistake, and it's just like they're just gonna continue to suffer and continue to act like, yeah, we got him. We're the greatest country in the world. It's just like, but they're gonna be paid out of the pocket big time. And it's just like,
yeah. But that's one thing is like I'm trying my best to let it go. I think I am, diving into philosophy and history. I was just diving into like the Great Migration, basically in World War One, after World War One, when there were these large openings of jobs, there was a huge migration of blacks from the South to the North, Midwest, and the Northeast, to the point where it was almost like people leaving one country and entering another, even though it was within a single country. It was written about Isabella Wilkerson in this book called The Warmth of Other Suns. But this was like a course that goes into much more detail about it. And I started reading it. And it's just fascinating the cognitive dissonance that was going on then, right? Like people were leaving the South, in droves because of the Ku Klux Klan driving them away. And as they're leaving, they're like, you can't leave. We need you to stay. Like you literally drove us to leaving, these making some southern towns ghost towns. And then as we're leaving, they're like, you got to stay and work. Anyway.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It's like you got people still with the Confederate flag and the South will rise again and all that bullshit. So you're right. They will never admit it. Also, if they did admit it, they might get punched in the face by other people. Like, well, bitch, we was trying to tell you. So yeah, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. I don't even want to hear it. I watch Joy Reid on Instagram. I don't watch the show. I'm not turning to news. And so sometimes like she's getting too, I'm like, Joy, that's too much negativity for me, girl. They just say today in the news, the Republicans are Republican, and just talk about something else. Like just move on. Like I can't.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, they want you to be as mad as they are. I mean, it's
Yeah,
part
they
of
do.
it. And I love Joanne. I do, but yeah, I can't. Yeah.
It's like,
Me
no,
either.
Not in me anymore. But
no.
let's see what we got comments wise. We got
Devon's running behind.
oh, okay.
There's a mortar derailment, so sorry.
Oh, wow.
Oh, get home safe.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move on to the next one. I got plenty. This one is a sort of philosophical about a show I've never watched. So yeah, I think it's about how I Met Your Mother. I think that's what, if you've seen any episodes, I've never seen it. I know the premise of the show.
Yes.
I've seen an episode or two.
Okay. So maybe you know a little bit more than I do. I just know the premise of the show, and I think he's talking about that. Okay. And I'll just play it.
Was Ted Mosby right all along? If you don't know who Ted Mosby was one of the greatest moral, ethical philosophers in sitcom history over the past 100 years. His approach to themes in ethics and utopianism and idealism is legendary. And it feels as though it is time for us to revisit one of the most fundamental questions that Ted leaves us with, and we can ask ourselves, was Ted Mosby right all along? For anyone who does not know who Ted Mosby is, Ted was a man who met this girl, Robin, and asked her out on a date. They had undeniable chemistry together. The first date was going fairly well, until eventually, at some point, Ted, in the heat of the moment, tells Robin, I think I am in love with you, after only knowing her for a couple of hours at best. Robin, understandably, freaks out and eventually asks Ted to leave. And this sets in motion a wonderfully complex story filled with shenanigans and hijinks and, dare I say, tomfoolery. Now, shortly after his first date with Robin, Ted makes a statement that forces us to ask very important moral questions about the world in which we live, and it is on this that we can ask the question, was Ted right all along? Ted says, I know that you can't just tell a girl that you just met that you love her, but it sucks that you can't. Ted here is asking a question about the way the world is in relation to the way the world could be, and it is important to engage in this train of thought. Because, you see, there are some things that are bad because they are bad, and there are other things that are bad not because they are bad, but because they are out of place in the world as we know it right now. So, for example, imagine a person who goes around believing that it is important to forgive anyone whenever they wrong them ever. Forgiveness on its own is not a bad thing. In many contexts, forgiveness is a good, wonderful, beautiful thing. But if you are a person who exists in the world as we know it right now, as a person who's always forgiving everyone, that is not going to go very well for you. You might be taken advantage of. You might not be able to hold people accountable for their actions. The fact of the matter is, if you are a dreamer living in a world who hates dreams, it is going to tear you apart. And this is the moral philosophy of Ted Mosby. So Ted forces us to ask the question, it is true that in this world, you should not tell somebody that you just met that you love them. But does it suck that you can't? Is this a case of a bad thing that is simply bad? Or is this a case of a bad thing that is only bad because our world is a somewhat tragic place? Now, if Ted is correct that it sucks that you cannot tell a person you just met that you love them, he's making a claim about the kind of world that we should aim to create. Should we try to create a world where it would be okay to tell somebody you just met that you loved them? What would such a world look like? Is that the kind of world that we should aim to create? The story of Ted really is the story of a dreamer in a world hostile to dreaming. A world that demands that you constantly be awake, that you never let your mind, your thoughts, your imagination soar and imagine different, better possibilities. And so Ted forces us to ask the question, when did it become so horrible to carry your heart on your sleeve? When did it become so horrible to care very deeply about somebody that you just met? When did it become such a bad thing to come on too strong? Why do we have to pretend not to care about things? Why does caring about things scare people away so much? Ted forces us to ask these questions to get us to think about if this is a world we want to live in, or if the world would be a better place if we didn't have to worry about these things, if we lived in a world where people don't get scared off because they encounter too much love right off the bat. As it so happens, in this world as it currently stands, living as a dreamer will tear you apart, and that is the story of Ted. He makes some weird, wild, stupid decisions over the course of his life because of his reliance on his dreams, because he is out of place in this world. The ultimate question Ted forces us to ask is, when is it time to change yourself, and when is it time to change the world? When can you no longer make demands within the walls of this world, and it becomes time for you to push against those walls? This is the moral philosophy of Ted Evelyn Mosby.
So, yeah, Yeah, it is interesting. Like, and I think that's the crux of it is, when is it time for you to change yourself, and when is it time for you to try to change the world? And the one I thought of was actually from last night. The question that John had in that group, right? Like, I felt like that was one of those um, points where he was trying to change the group, right? Like he was making that post, and you're seeing like all the shirtless dudes posting, and you're like, none of y'all gonna find a man posting naked pictures,
Right.
Yeah,
versus like maybe change the group that you're in instead of trying to change the group.
I just want to live in a world where people are not half dressed and everybody's got a shot at love. That's all
Right.
that I want, right?
Like, even if you're right, and I think that I don't know about this character from How I Met Your Mother, but like he seems kind of funny. I mean, like he's set up for a sitcom, but he's the type of person who thinks he's in love with someone on the first date and says it. That's not something you do. That's not the world you live in. I'm sorry.
But I don't. Y'all could probably help me put this to words. I was watching an interview with Coleman Domingo, and he was talking about when he first met his current husband, partner. I don't know if they married or not. And they've been together for over a decade. And he said we met. I think essentially he saw him like outside of the Walgreens. They didn't like talk to each other. Then he put out one of those Craigslist ads for like missing persons or whatever. When you misconnections, yes. And so then the guy reached out to him. They went on a date that night. They went back to his place. They were curled up in the bed, and he said to him, "I think I love you, and I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you." And they were together ever since. And so I think it happens. Like, I've met people that I felt so deep emotions that felt like love, but I knew logically I don't know you, so I really can't love you because I don't know you, but I feel like I love you. Yeah. And I had some user bitch one time who I took out on a date a couple of days and say, "Oh, I think I'm falling in love with you." Bitch, no, you're not. You a user, bitch, and I've already clocked it. I've already clocked it, bitch.
See, that's exactly why you can't do that.
Yeah. She thought I was an easy mark, bitch.
Yeah.
Just gotta pay for a couple of things. Like, girl, I see you, bitch. I see you.
On that point, welcome, John.
What did I walk in on?
Oh God, we were actually doing a throwback to your topic from yesterday. So I played a video talking about How I Met Your Mother and the main character, who I guess the whole crux of the entire series was that he met a woman on a first date, and at the end of the date said he loved her, and it freaked her out. And then like hijinks ensue, and they stretch it out for 11 seasons. But that was kind of like the premise of the show was just like this guy wore his heart on his sleeve pretty much throughout the entire series, and because he just said what he felt and was a dreamer in a world that doesn't like dreamers, he got into a lot of trouble for his very frankness. I've never seen the show, so I don't know, but basically I was comparing it to your topic in the sense that this guy in that group has this idea that we're not supposed to be sexual beings if we're looking for relationships, and was trying to change the world when I feel like, or change the group, when I feel like he should just have been trying to change himself.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that it's necessarily a wrong impulse. It's just that it's not going to get you anywhere. Like,
right. It's like going on Grindr and going, "Why is everyone just looking for hookups?" It's like, I get it. I get it.
Not everything is for everyone, and trust me, I felt the impulse. I fairly resonate with him, and what I've done is just enjoy the view. Like, I enjoy the groups for what they are, and
that's why I reiterated on his thing is, if it's not for you, move on.
Yeah, but he's fucking pissed. I feel it. Because he's like, he thinks that somehow I think everyone else either, because I think when you make a point like that, you're trying to like stick it to someone, because I don't think, you're trying to say like you're not gonna get anything out of it.
That's why I'm also thinking the backstory is he probably tried to get with that person and they rejected him.
It
And
could have
so
been.
now, and it could have been right. And then I think when he posted that, I know he was thinking, "Oh, everybody finna jump on this coattail." No, bitch, everybody didn't.
Like I said, it would have been like, posting about Kamala's housing plan in a MAGA group. Like,
Right.
What are you doing? Like, I don't understand.
But crazy's only crazy, and this is like what you're saying as far as that love you thing, when it ain't reciprocated.
Right.
Because that first night me and my husband met and we were together, like we met, ate dinner, a few hours later we was fucking. And it felt like I knew him. I was like, this feels like we know each other. Like
I've had that feeling many times.
I was like, are you feeling this? And he's like, yeah, I'm feeling this too. And it's like, it was like this weird, like simpatico thing, but it's only crazy but he was like, girl, no, I just met you, bitch. What are you talking about? Like, then I'm crazy.
Right. I do. I agree with you on that because it's context dependent. I think that a lot of times morality, there are certain things in morality that are absolute because it would just disintegrate society. But a lot of what we consider what's right or wrong is context dependent, right? And sometimes you can just go for it, right? Like maybe. I mean, I guess it just depends. If you feeling it.
And I had that feeling that Cream was talking about with somebody about a month ago, but I didn't do what Cream did and ask him, "Are you feeling this?" I didn't say. I kept all of that in because I was like, "Don't let me put my foot out there and you stomp on and say, no, this is just a fuck, dude. This all this is." So I kept it in just to see what his sort of behavior was going to be and how he was going to reciprocate to me, not just saying stuff like, next day, "Hey, how you doing? How was your day?" or trying to do that. And then if I get the one word, "How are you feeling?" and I get just the THX for thanks, you didn't spell the whole word out. Bitch, I know you didn't, because you couldn't even spell out the whole word thanks. That's how I know you don't care. So, just.
Let me ask you this, though, and this is something that was in the video, and, because we sometimes want to change the world instead of changing ourselves, do you think you wish you lived in a world where it was normal to just say what you felt? Like it wouldn't matter if, like they weren't going to just stomp your heart or, think you're crazy if you said how you felt?
Kinda, but no. I was going to say, I kinda, but no. Yeah, that's my answer.
Okay.
I do. I want that world. I really do. Because honestly, because I've been in those kind of situations before, and it's like you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but at the same time, it's like we should live in a world where we can be completely honest with somebody and they not take it like as a personal attack on them or something. Like sometimes it just don't work out, and that's okay. Now I know kind of when you're younger, you like, when somebody breaks up, you think it's the end of the world. I ain't never gonna find nobody. 5 minutes later, you online and you met somebody else. I mean, that's just where it happens. But it's like, I know people who like, somebody breaks up with them and they think it's the end of the world. And they take it personal. It's just like you dodged the bullet. If they weren't for you, they weren't for you. Somebody out there is. Just hold your time, hold your breath. It'll happen. But yeah, I would love if that was a thing.
The reason why I say
a lot of people are not honest about a lot of stuff. I think that's why a lot of people lie about a lot of stuff because they're always afraid that like somebody's going to reject them or what have you.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I said kinda but no is because everybody in this world ain't sane. So
yeah, they're users too. Yeah. They're completely sane, but they have no heart.
Correct. And they're killers out there. So we don't want to do that and trigger them.
I'm just saying, if you
want somebody to tell me, yes, I am the killer. Okay, well then you stay over there.
That's what I mean by the fact that do you wish you lived in a world where that were a problem? you know, like because it is crazy. It's utopian, you know.
Yeah.
It's like utopian where no one's crazy and no one's going to use you, and you can easily just say what you want. Obviously, that world doesn't exist.
Oh,
Right, right.
Just go ahead and tell me. It's fine. I'm, you know,
Well, I'm
it might be
sorry.
a good time, but you know, we're not gonna go. Well, no, we're not gonna come to my house and do that.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna tell nobody I'm finna cut their power cords. I like the element of surprise. You know.
Oh,
I
God.
was like, I'm gonna shoot up the club, and then I'm just gonna go around and just cut all your cords.
Oh, God. That's horrible. People are completely honest, yeah. That would not work out very well for a lot of people.
Cream, your take.
Huh?
Your take. I mean.
Oh,
what would you-
I'm. You know what? I don't know if I've landed. I keep trying to think about the pros and the cons in my mind. I'm going back and forth. But I think ultimately, if I could have Utopia, I'll take Utopia. You know, I'll take
Yeah,
Utopia over deceit and
debauchery.
and you know, people trying to get over on you and shit like that. I you know, it's like, you know, I would love that. You know, that world. I think that's what the world that I lived in my 20s, you know, that got me fucked up. So awful. you know, coming from a small country town and thinking everybody was saying what they mean and meant what they say, you know, and you go home with the boy from the club and then you call him the next day, girl, you know, you see him at the other bar the next day, girl, he looking at you like, who are you?
Oh,
Right?
God. That's so bad.
Yeah,
Awkward, right?
that would have saved me a lot of trouble in my 20s. Yes.
Yeah. I wish I had the courage to be a little more honest and to, like, in that situation that you were in, John. I wish I could say that I'm the type of person who would have said something. I know that I'm not. Right. I would have basically done the same thing. And I'm thinking to myself, obviously there are the real negative consequences of meeting a psycho or meeting a user or something like that. But my hope for myself is that I trust myself enough at some point to be able to determine if they are safe enough to say that too.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've always been the person that if I feel that deeply, I'm probably gonna say something.
Yeah.
You know, if you scare you, and that's even like in platonic relationships where it's like, oh my God, you are so cool. Let's be friends. You know what I mean? Like that thing, like whatever that is.
Yeah, I risk it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, let's go. You know, yeah, that's always been my personality.
It's like, I like your style. We could definitely hang out. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go. All right, let's see if we got any comments. Let's see.
Yes, we did get a few. Dick says, "Love at first sight can happen."
It can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy said, "Love at first nut."
That too.
That too.
You know, actually, that is a test, right? That is a test.
Yeah.
Do I still feel the same way about you after I nut? Like that is a big test. Like
that's actually accurate. I didn't think about it, but you're
call
right.
it post nut clarity.
Post nut clarity. If I'm still like goo goo gaga about you after I have nutted, baby, you is it.
Because you could
right.
be horny. You know, you can think you're in love, but you just want to fuck. And you're
exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, it is, because if I hadn't gotten up in 5 minutes and gone and got you a towel and I'm still laying there, you probably a keeper.
Right.
oh God.
Oh God. Sammy says, I feel I have to create that world for myself. I'm not gonna be a walking BBC for anyone. Bitch, I got thoughts and feelings too, way down deep, but they
Yeah. It's a I don't know, it's a trade-off everyone has to be in. Like, do I change myself or try to change the world? It's true.
Mm-hmm. Sammy said, "John, we know you were distracted with the red shorts, meanwhile cutting the cords on a nigga." John's gonna be like, "Look over there." Mr. Underwood, how you doing tonight? He says, "We live in a society where we must make people feel comfortable with a lie, regardless of what the truth is." Yeah, that's why I said I would love that utopia, because you should be able to just be honest with people and they not take it personal sometimes, unless you try to be personal. Like if you say like, Ja, I can't. Your breath stink. Like, okay. I get it.
Oh, Damon came in at the tail end with one more there.
Oh yeah.
Clean.
Yeah,
Good
better-
thing, team.
I don't- I don't-
clean
I don't-
towel
I
or a
don't-
crunchy towel.
I
Thank you.
don't do crunchy.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
In fact, after it's over, it's going straight to the wash. It's not even going. I don't need nobody else's DNA around my house. No.
That was one of the things I did come like I realized how much better my rooms smell when I don't have any dirty clothes in it. Like, you don't even really need, like deodorants and stuff in your house if you get rid of your dirty clothes quickly. If your clothes are clean, your place smells good.
Right.
My room smell like Tide. Yes.
Pretty much.
Tide and Downy.
All right, so the next one's going to be kind of a serious topic. I've been reading a couple of books on the philosophy of love, and this book is by someone. This is a summary of a chapter in one of these books. It's a psychologist named Abraham Maslow, and he created what some people call a hierarchy of needs, like the basic needs being like safety, security, connection, and then in that hierarchy of need is love. And so this was one of the chapters on that, and he was distinguishing between different types of love: a love that is very sort of needy versus a love that is very wholehearted, I guess you could say, and is more outward facing. I'm going to play this real quick and talk about it.
In conversations with friends, in popular culture, even in psychology research, love tends to be defined in negative terms. We think of love as a lack. Love is something people want, something they long for, something that must be found out there. Finding love means receiving love. But the people who feel that they've truly found love, the people who don't experience love primarily as a lack, are those who give love. This just goes to show that we can move beyond the love as lack definition and become capable of turning our love outward.
The key message here is, love is more fulfilling when it's not based on a deficiency.
In his writings, Maslow distinguished between deficiency love, or D-love for short, and love for a person's whole being. He called this latter type of love B-love. D-love, and remember that stands for deficiency love, is something we feel like we have to search and strive for. It's a need, and it has to be satisfied. But that's not how B-love works. People who love in this way don't need to receive much love at all. Their love is not about what's missing from their lives. Instead, they're focused on admiring others and giving. It's a shift from regarding love as something to be gotten to seeing it as something to be given, from depending on others and being rewarded with their love to loving the world at large. So, how do people who practice B-love act? For one, they tend to be driven by self-transcendent values. B-loving people are also notable for high levels of tolerance, benevolence, and trustworthiness. They have character traits like kindness, humility, and forgiveness. Other people love being around them. But B-loving people are also able to look after their own needs and assert themselves when necessary. They just do it in a way that remains caring and considerate of others. Above all, B-loving people are able to integrate two aspects of human existence that might seem contradictory: agency and communion. Agency involves independence and separation from others. It's about how much you're able to achieve your own goals and assert yourself. In contrast, community is about contact, openness, and participation, being together with others. B-loving people manage to bring both aspects into harmony. They do this by going beyond the need to receive love, maintaining high levels of self-reliance, while also staying engaged in satisfying relationships.
So this is one of the things that we talk about, loving yourself before you love someone else. And it really is this kind of idea that if you have a certain level of self-acceptance, a certain stability in your identity, you're better able to love other people because you're not dependent on someone else's opinion of you to shape how you respond to them, right? Like if you're comfortable in who you are, insults are confusing, right? It's like what are you talking about? Like obviously that's just not the way I really am. You don't really know me. You know, like, if you know who you are. And so there is this sort of is sort of tension between the two, right? Of forming community, forming relationships, forming friendships, being an outward community minded person while also being completely secure in who you are and not necessarily needing other people to define who you are. I was thinking about also going back to John's topic from yesterday. And I didn't mention it because it's not I don't know. Mentioning the idea that a lot of people post those pictures for validation and it's not necessarily healthy, right? Because they don't have much else going on, right? They're attractive and they're posting these photos, and that's all they got. And they're feeding off of the likes and the compliments and whatever. And that is not the type of person you want to get into a relationship with, right?
Also, they probably don't have a good job too, because if you post a certain kind of pictures, girl, you're gonna get fired from a certain kind of job. So that's also a sign about that as well. But go ahead.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Like nowadays, maybe not as much because you can actually work behind, Zoom calls. Like I could probably do that. And no one at my job knows what I look like. Like this is a good point. But I do understand the idea that there is a deficiency there when you really need that attention, and those do not make good relationship partners at all. Like if you need adoration from other people, that's not going to end when you get in a relationship.
Correct.
It gets very I'm not one of your fans.
Aren't people going to expect you to get off of those pages when you get in a relationship? And if you need that adoration, how's that going to make you feel? Like you're now in this relationship with someone, you found somebody.
Anyone who found you on there ain't gonna tell you to get off. Probably
they might not tell you to get off, but they might expect you to.
Yeah,
they may not say it, but
or you'll probably get with another person who does that too, right? And so you both are going to be doing that kind of thing. Like I knew a guy, briefly dated a guy who started dating this guy who was all on Twitter and stuff, put his titties out and ass out and stuff, and they started dating. But of course, they started dating because this man used to take pictures of himself sitting on the toilet, tucking his dick in and shirtless and stuff. So of course, those two shall meet. You know what I mean? But they didn't stay together.
But those never stay together though, because eventually jealousy and everything else is going to creep in. You getting more likes than I'm getting, or you getting more DMs than I'm getting. How come everybody from my fans are not your fans, and vice versa? So it lasts for a little while. I've seen it too many times of content creators, OnlyFans, people that date each other. It doesn't last, and eventually, because they're in the public eye, you get a front row seat to their debauchery and their dismantlement of their relationship.
But I think it's what they were saying in this book. Abraham Maslow, describing two different types of love that you need in your life: the love that's a deficient love, and the love that is just existing as a person. Like I am enough as I am, right?
So let me ask this. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So let me ask this question, because as he was reading or reciting, and I was thinking, I was trying to look within myself to see, am I a D lover? And that means deficiency, not the other D. But am I a D lover or a B lover? And as he was going through it and the definition and everything, I come to realize that I'm probably D with B sprinkles. Kinda, if that makes sense, because I can see where you can be both at the same time. So, but you're probably more heavy on this one than the other one, if that makes sense.
No, it's true. I think we all have certain deficiencies that we are going to admit to, for one, because it's our business. It ain't nobody else's business. I'm just saying, like, there is a certain point in which we all get a joy from the validation from other people, right? Like that's just normal, right? But it is an aspiration to not need that, right? And so I definitely hear people just saying that they don't do the validation. The question is, like, is the validation sort of like an addiction, versus just something you enjoy.
Now,
It could be an addiction for some.
I was
Yeah.
watching a clip from a Cam Newton podcast and see if you can if you go with me on this.
Mm.
So he was saying that if a woman comes over his house, he ain't just kissing and cuddling if she's spending the night. Like if you kissing me, we gonna be fucking essentially.
Yeah.
And the woman on the podcast said, well, if you are having sex with another woman, like if you're dating other women, but I still would like to get to know you and get with you, we're not having sex. Even if I say tonight and lay in your bed, we're not having sex because you're having sex with other women. And I was thinking about how the younger me probably would have wanted to be like her,
Right.
and say, this is my boundary. How dare you use it with other people? But the other me would have been like, well, girl, I'm gonna try to turn him, girl. I'm gonna fuck him over to me, girl. I'm gonna suck it so good, girl. He gonna want me, girl. Like, not having enough respect for myself to go, you sleep with other people? No, thank you. Like if that's what I wanted, right? That's what I
Right,
want.
right. Because he should
yeah.
be the one making sacrifices for you.
Mhm,
He should be
exactly.
the one dropping these other people to pursue you,
Right.
not
Exactly.
you giving in. Yeah.
Right.
And that requires a lot of self-esteem, a lot of acceptance, a lot of security in yourself. And that I think a lot of times comes from learning from bad relationships.
True that.
You gotta learn.
True that.
That's the only reason I was thinking about in that last topic about living in a utopia. You don't learn anything in a utopia. I would love that. But the bad shit is what teaches you how to, deal with the shit. I mean,
Right.
there's not much of another way to learn it.
Because if I had never had bullshit, that time that user tried to tell me he loved me after 2 dates, and but within 24 hours, I would be like, oh my God. But she had been down that road before. She knew the time.
Yeah. Let's see if we had any comments from this topic.
We do not.
We don't. Okay.
Y'all all D lovers, huh?
Well, I got a topic from now this one is going to be a pop culture topic, and I don't know anything about it, so it has to do with Ariana Grande and Wicked. So there were
I think I may know what this is about, but go ahead.
There was some controversy or some online banter about her body, about how thin she was in the movie. And there was some back and forth, people like rumors and gossip as to how she loses weight or if she has an eating disorder.
Right.
And this woman was commenting on it, and this video is her clapping back at someone, calling her a bully, basically. And she was like, I'm not a bully. I'm just commenting on what's going on in the culture. I'm going to play this real quick.
We need to talk about the concept of moral neutrality as it relates to binary thinking, okay? So this is a tool. It can also be a weapon. This is a medicine. It can also be a poison. Reading a cozy book can be self-care, but it can also be escapism. The only difference between a coup and a revolution is who you determine the oppressed people to be. Talking about yourself can be bragging, but it can also be a very genuine and natural instinct to share the joy and relief that comes with accomplishment. So in the same way, gossiping itself is a morally neutral thing that is defined by the specifics of the people in the situation. What I'm saying is that gossiping is quite often bad, but that doesn't always mean that it's always bad. That doesn't mean that it can't be how community looks out for each other too occasionally. It's not one or the other. It's both. And if you're a person that claims to care about others, maybe even somebody who cares about being community oriented, that means not caring about how people treat just you. But it also means caring about how other people treat other people and affect other people in the community. A large part of the way communities do that and maintain their social health is via the exchange of information of how members of the community may have treated others, even if it's not your business, because when you're collectively conscious, you understand that we all affect each other and that harm to one is harm to all. Personal note, I mean this in the most delicate way possible, but I genuinely feel sorry for people who can't conceive of a world where occasionally, not always, but occasionally talking about someone else is 100% always vindictive and shameful. That type of hyper-defensive and moral rigidity isn't of itself like a lack of good faith in people. And a certain amount of good faith assumptions when it comes to humanity is what makes any type of discourse, not to mention evolution, possible. You say that we shouldn't be making statements on women's bodies, and I actually agree. But the point is that the statement has already been made by mainstream media's glorification of, and refusal to even acknowledge possible concern. Silence is just as much of a statement as talking is. So this whole argument of not making statements on women's bodies is valid, but don't imply that the attempt at redirection and micro-correction in the form of a response to what is being pushed as the status quo is the only statement being made. Be so for real, okay? Just because I'm prioritizing the village doesn't mean I'm sacrificing the villager. That's the only options that you think you have, that it has to be either or, that it can't be both. Normal people do not affect society the same way that celebrities do. That's where the word influencer comes from. They do have more power to affect the village. So that means, unfortunately, sometimes the way that we interact with them in regards to social responsibility will be different. Is that healthy? No. Is that fair? No. But that is the point. Being a celebrity is fundamentally unnatural and unhealthy, but y'all don't want to have that conversation. The problem is not always the discourse people are having around celebrities. It's quite often actually the very nature of how fame inevitably removes said person from the same reasonable societal expectations as like non-famous people. Celebrities are people, yes, but when celebrities make a lot of money off your focus and your support, we are not in fact obligated to only and always praise them no matter what. And that also doesn't mean bullying them. This is nuance. Part of being a celebrity is accepting that your influence will be discussed, not just praised. That doesn't mean they are under like any obligation to do or say anything differently. That doesn't mean that they're not exempt from critique either. It doesn't matter if they are the nicest people in the world. They still have an impact. Intention over impact.
Yeah. And
Okay. At first, I was about to say, this bitch is super smart. She is just like rattling this shit off the top of her head. But then I saw that she was reading the teleprompter. I said, okay, bitch. You still super smart. You still super smart. But you ain't a genius like I thought you was for a second. I was like, but go ahead.
No, she had some good points, and you're right.
She did.
It's good to have a little script. But yeah, she was going in. And then,
I would like to see exactly what her comment was.
I know, yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes, and I don't even know if I want to call it gossip, but I remember a couple of years ago there was this. It was either celebrity or reporter. I don't remember what it was, but everybody was talking about their appearance and their face and how they were looking. Well, it just so happens that one of those people looking was either a nurse or a doctor and said they're having a stroke. Somebody needs to get it taken care of. And it got to the celebrity. Come to find out, it wasn't a stroke, but it was something medically wrong that needed to be fixed. And they actually brought her back on that whatever's Good Morning show. And the first nurse that found out about it came on, huggy, kissy. Yeah, thank you. But but I'm just saying, though, sometimes, it could be, I guess, a good thing sometimes when they
right.
I think that's what you're saying, is that basically not every instance of gossip is always morally reprehensible.
No.
And you need to actually have some context in it. And I think, I'm not sure what the original comments were. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish we knew.
Well, I can assume this is what it was about. That people have been doing side by side comparisons of Ariana and Cynthia before the movie came out and the press tour and after.
Yeah.
And they are very, I don't use the word emaciated, but they're already thin women, but they're significantly thinner post during this whole press tour, which I equate to stress.
Did you see all the shit that they did to make
all
the damn
things,
movie?
like not eating, you skipping meals.
Cynthia did her own stunts, so
right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was a physically grueling, process. This is true, but this was filmed like a while ago,
right? Yeah, I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the press tour itself.
Right.
They've been everywhere for months,
right,
and probably not eating the best soul food, everywhere they go,
right. And so, someone is going to make comments about it, and then, I think there is a responsibility. I think that's one of the things she was getting at, is to say that even if this is her natural body type, or this is something that they're going through naturally, this is not what is for you as a girl, as a young woman. This is not healthy.
Right. Don't try to look like this.
Do not try to look like this. That's okay. Because people will assume like this is what we should aspire to. Because
but you're always going to have people that are going to be like that, because body dysmorphia is a thing, and like people are always going to do these things, whether somebody gets on social media that says don't do this or this is not natural or not.
Right. True.
You know, and I get what she's saying too, because she's right about, you know, yeah, celebrities kind of do get carte blanche to kind of they have a separate set of rules than the rest of us do. They're able to get away with stuff that we're not able to get away with and things like that. But at the same time, you know, and a lot of people will be like, well, they're a celebrity. They know it comes with a cost. Well, they don't necessarily like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, yes, I don't mind being a celebrity, but that doesn't mean that I have to co-sign to like people talking shit about me online and I just be okay with it. Like, you know, I got feelings too. My feelings get hurt. Like, y'all can't just talk shit about me and I not say anything about it. Like, the fuck?
I don't know about that though. I'm gonna hard disagree. Like, I feel like it's like if you were signing up to be a janitor and I'm not supposed to, you know, scrub floors or something. Like, I think it's part of the job. Like, it's part of the job to deal with negativity, unfortunately, and it's not helpful.
It's part of the job, but some people do take it to an extreme that's like, okay, now this shit does not come with the job. Like, y'all, you know, coming to my house or something crazy like that. Like that is crossing a line, and a lot of people like, or for example, like I know I cannot think of her name now. She's a singer. Cream, you know who I'm talking about. She does like drag a lot. What is that?
Delano. Oh, you talking about Chaperone?
Yes, Chaperone, right.
Chaperone.
Like, she's been saying a lot, like, you know, people will come up to her and they feel like they have access to her, and she's just like, I don't know you. And people are getting mad at her, saying, like, well, you wouldn't be who you were if it wasn't for us. True, but at the same time, I don't know you, bitch. Like, you don't get to just have access to me and want to, like, I gotta drop everything I'm doing and take a picture with you just because you bought an album from me. Like, I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it, but that doesn't give you access to me. Like,
I'm gonna have to be a little with Malcolm on this one, because if you're gonna go into that profession and being in the public eye, you're gonna have to assume the risk of what's gonna happen. It's just like a police officer. If you decide to be a police officer, you have to assume the risk that, yeah, you're probably gonna get spat at, talked about, shot at, whatever. So you assume the risk of going into that business.
I wish we live in a world where we didn't have to assume that celebrities had to take risks to be with people to be a celebrity.
Hear me out.
That's where we are about.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. But you have to assume that people are going to think they have all the access in the world to you because you're out there. Not to say that it's right.
Exactly.
There's certain things that come with the position. Chaperone needs to have security. She needs to have people to block people. Beyonce don't look at people and go, why are y'all coming up to me? How dare you? She got that big ass man who stops stiff arms bitches coming next to her.
Right.
She don't have to say shit. She don't have to say nothing.
Exactly.
She walks. She's Saturdays
like,
to wherever she's going, and you know what
it's like this. I've heard people put it like this. We were just talking about this in that second topic. Are you going to change yourself, or are you going to try to change the world?
Mm-hmm.
Or imagine it like this: are you going to like try to carpet the world, or are you going to put on a pair of shoes?
And that's why I said I wish we lived in a world where
yeah, but I
feel that. I mean, and speaking as somebody who I like to tell y'all, I live in a bunker in 60 feet under the ground. Like, I get that. It's like, I don't mind being cordial with people and stuff like that, but I don't want people to just think like, just because I do this and because I'm online and I appear to be like this friendly person, that like y'all can just come up in here and just put your feet up and think like I'm gonna be okay with it. Like,
I want a bag.
You're my bag, bitch.
You think I can just make a bag just because you asked for one, bitch?
And listen, I love gossip like the next bitch. Okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it at work, at home. Give it to me. Bring it to me. I love the gossip.
Yes.
But I also recognize the fact that as people just existing in the world, we can't get away from it. People are gonna talk about you no matter what happens, right? Yeah. And especially as you rise in stature in whatever field you're doing. I remember there was a year at work, or it felt like a year, it may have been just a semester, where it felt like just all the shit was happening. Students lying. There was some student made a Twitter page about a show I was directing, saying some shit about it, and and it just felt like everywhere I went, I was putting out or ignoring bullshit, lies, fabrications, And at one point, though, I just said to myself, "Okay, bitch, this is the price of doing business. This is the price of being where you at. Sometimes it's not like that all the time, but right now, this is the price of doing business. And I think if you're gonna do business, pay the price, girl. Pay the price, or get out of business. You know,
It's true. Like I think the
hire some
sooner
bodyguards.
the sooner you accept it,
I got a bodyguard, but he don't do shit. He let the killer in the house.
I think the sooner you accept it, the sooner you can mitigate the problems with it,
And
I
deal
think
with
you can deal with yourself. I think there are some things you could do to, deal with people who come up to you. Like, not everyone is just naturally okay with people, assaulting them in public. It feels like an assault, whereas other people are like, "Oh, how thank you for noticing me." Like not everyone.
There are some people that love that, and they can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
But I'm just under the thing that, like, that's not always what people sign up for, because some people
I
do
think they
get
need to
way out of pocket with it, and they get way extreme with it, and it's like, who would knowingly sign up for people being that
if you are a
wanna be
celebrity,
hands-on?
if you're a celebrity, you should know that you're signing up for something that is inherently unhealthy.
Unnatural.
Popularity is unnatural, unhealthy. People should not have this level of access to you. They should not know all these things about you, and it is unfair, but also kind of like life's unfair. Like you have certain advantages, and
everybody
prestige
can't
and luck.
conquer.
Yeah,
and plenty of celebrities,
and you also benefit from that attention.
such
Let's
a big
be
way.
real.
Yeah,
People who are gossiped about get jobs, they get attention. Like, it is the way that a lot of people, negative attention is still attention.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of celebrities who say there's ways to avoid, let's say, the paparazzi or the people. Like Raven Simone was just recently on some show, I think from Jennifer Hudson's show, talking about how Jennifer Hudson said, we never saw you stumbling out the club and and the paparazzi. And she said, "Oh, I was there, but I went out the back, bitch." I said, "Where's the paparazzi?" "Oh, I'm going through the kitchen." Like, there are ways to do your thing and not necessarily have to be engaged in certain ways. And so sometimes people choose violence.
But at the same time, some celebrities go way overboard, thinking that, like, they the shit, like Jennifer Lopez. It's like, okay, girl, you are not. You don't nobody like you that much. Like, okay, take it down a couple of notches, J-Lo, Jenny from the block.
She says, "Tell my fans waiting outside of my hotel in London in the rain."
Girl, get your ham sandwich and your own soda. If you know, you know.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Do you have any comments?
Yes, we did get a few more comments. Let's see. What's going on? He said they don't have soul food in England, where Cynthia's from. I guess the price of a DLCD movie ticket does not obligate fans to anything other than that limited license to what they have bought, not the artist's life. See, I agree.
Doesn't mean that you get what you're entitled to.
Right. We agree.
Yeah. Beyonce don't owe us the visuals, but we still want them. We're still complaining about it every time we get an opportunity. It has been over a year since the album was released, over 2 years since more than the other was released. She will never live this shit down if she don't release the video. I'm telling you right now.
They may have to assume the risk, but that doesn't make it okay for the public not to respect people's personal space.
Agreed.
Yes, we are all agreement.
We all agree.
Okay.
We agree.
It's the way
What about Anthony Mackie that won't pick with his fans because of the fear that they would alter them?
Fair, I guess that's fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
that's
didn't
his
know that was
personal
before.
opinion. Yeah, I've heard him say that too. That's his
Yeah.
personal opinion. I
What's
mean,
he scared to alter them to do? Do like what?
I don't know.
I guess
'Cause you
alter him, what he looked like. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Like,
whatever.
like those pictures we were passing around of Ice Cube with the big booty.
And you don't need Ice Cube present to do that. Like,
I know,
Show
right?
out. You
he
really
ain't
don't.
stopping nothing.
Right, exactly. I think we all understand that part of the preparation is getting a personal entourage that will include security detail.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think AI has bypassed that barrier. Right. That's
Mhm.
that's what I said. Like those pictures that are going around Ice Cube, it's like, damn.
I mean, 5 years from now, you will not be able to tell the difference anyway.
I
Between
know.
You
it's
really-
like I'm
scary.
gonna
Once
have
they figure out how to get the fingers and toes
everybody.
right, yeah, we're doomed.
Male media mind may be run by AI. You just never know.
You
Yeah,
never know.
yeah,
You're right.
you
You're
never
right.
know.
It'll have enough data to mine from, it'll-
That's true.
Right.
That's
I
true.
mean, we're on here all the time, so they got plenty of data on
They
us.
can clone the shit out of me, and this is true. Like 10 years worth of audio to go.
That's okay. You know, I let an AI bot run the show a couple of nights.
Will we
You
have
know
an
what,
AI?
look-
Will we have an AI T'Challa too?
I've been
Yes.
trying. You know, the funny thing is, I dabble in it, and I've been trying to make my own AI bot. Like you can actually do that now. Like train your own GPT on your own
Oh.
data. Yeah,
hmm
it's kind of interesting.
It is very interesting. It's kind of scary too.
It is. Like I put my
Right.
journal entries in there, and I ask it to tell me something about myself I may not know, or to I remember one which was like, come up with a dream scenario. What you know about me, create a dream scenario that I would like to be in.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'm reading a story about me, custom made for me.
Wow.
Like it's pretty cool.
At this point, the AI bot that I would love to have is one that could sit at this damn laptop and do my job while I sleep.
That would be the one that gets you fired, actually.
Yeah. 'Cause once they find out, it's like, oh, so we don't need you then.
Right.
We can not pay the-
We were talking about this is true of one job that Jeff did for years, which was grant writing, right? It was a
Mhm.
very heavily research intensive job that you can do in like 30 minutes now with AI.
Mhm.
Because it can pull in all the resources, get it, and all you
Yeah.
got to do is proofread it and
Mhm.
check
Right.
the sources. And something like that used to take 6 months, takes like 5 hours now.
Right.
So
Mhm.
grant writers, it's a shrinking job. Just to say it like that. It's just not as labor intensive.
I'm still very basic in my AI usage. I'm like, make this sound more professional. That's the good of mine.
No,
I
that's
turned this
pretty good.
one report. My boss was like, "You're so well written," and he said, "This is real written." Is what he said.
Well,
I
I'll
said,
tell you,
"Well, hey,
I'll
it's
tell you
AI."
one thing. Like if you really want to impress your boss, like get your boss's papers as a reference and make it sound like their paper, and
Oh,
basically
no.
make your work look just like theirs. And it's like, oh, this is
Right,
perfect.
right.
Thanks,
No,
Malcolm.
Samuel, I can't imagine that happening.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay, so thinking about that, this is actually ties into my next topic is about bullshit jobs. I'm gonna read this book. Bullshit Jobs I haven't read the book yet, but everyone's reviewing it and talking about it, and it's just interesting. I'm gonna play the clip here, and here we
I'm
go.
finally reading this book after so many people told me to. Bullshit Jobs, A Theory by David Graeber. Wow. So his theory, in short, his thesis is basically that so many people are working bullshit jobs, and they even know that they're bullshit. Here's his working definition. A bullshit job is a form of paid employment that is so completely pointless, unnecessary, or pernicious that even the employee cannot justify its existence, even though, as part of the conditions of employment, the employee feels obliged to pretend that this is not the case. I.e., all of us, and we just click-clack on our emails all day, and we answer the fire drills from our managers, and we have convinced ourselves that we are either A, doing something important, or that B, it's fine to do something that we don't care about, where the employers and the heads of these companies convince us that these jobs are doing something, and that this is a system that is obviously so much larger than us. He published part of this, before this book was a book, he wrote an essay about this. Huge swaths of people spend their days performing tasks they secretly believe do not really need to be performed. It's as if someone were out there making up pointless jobs for the sake of keeping us all working. The moral and spiritual damage that comes from this situation is profound. It is a scar across our collective soul, yet virtually no one talks about it. How can one even begin to speak of dignity in labor when one secretly feels one's job should not exist? Unless you just think this is the author's subjective opinion. People did research to be like, is there statistical evidence of this truth that so many jobs are bullshit jobs? Yes, there is. A YouGov poll, which asks Britons the question, does your job, quote, make a meaningful contribution to the world? 37% said that they believed their job does not. A similar poll in Holland said almost the exact same thing. 40% of Dutch workers reported that their job had no good reason to exist. Cannot wait to keep reading this. I am fired up. As someone who has been in many bullshit jobs over the years.
So I found this interesting because, like I said, I was reading about Abraham Maslow and talking about our need for meaning in our life. Often a lot of it does come from our work. And yeah, there are companies and industries that literally create positions, and they're aware that these positions don't fulfill any sort of need, but they need them for other reasons other than their usefulness. And there are 5 categories. I love the names of the categories, and I'll explain them. They are flunkies, goons, duct tapers, box tickers, and taskmasters. Okay. The flunkies are the ones who have positions that make someone else look more important. E.g., having like a executive assistant when an answer machine would do. A goon is somebody who is created to heighten the level of competitiveness between industries, such as executive consultants, PR or laws. They basically do nothing. It's people you hire to help you do your job because you just have so much money, right? And they're not really doing anything. Duct tapers are people who are constantly fixing things that could be, systematically fixed, right? Like inefficiencies in the system that they constantly are just like taping up that you could just fix with a simple thing. I remember a friend of mine who was talking about the same thing. Like we were just talking about how AI fills this role in some cases, but even before AI was a thing, there were certain like scripts that he knew that he could write into his program at his job that would just do the job of 3 other employees at the company.
Damn.
I could write this code in about an hour and all their jobs would be gone. but out of loyalty to them, and just like, and it's kind of like whatever. Box tickers are, employees or positions that create a certain appearance of productivity or meet certain compliance, necessities. Box tickers. And taskmasters, those whose primary function is to supervise employees who could probably be doing the work independently.
That'd be me.
So, but yeah, and I think what they were saying is that these sorts of positions, while not necessarily soul draining, they can essentially, if someone doesn't see that they have purpose in their life, it is a problem. So obviously we can find purpose outside of work, it's just, but there is a certain amount of time that we have in a day. And if you're spending all this time at work and it's kind of soul sucking, like you have a little bit of time after work to find something meaningful to do. I don't know. Like that's something.
That's why I think it's really important, if you can, to follow your dreams. Like you gotta, it's people who are able to work day to day at jobs that they love. It's a blessing,
Yeah,
it's a blessing. because then whatever position you're in, if you love it, right, then you're inspired. You don't feel like you're just,
it doesn't feel like a job, right?
Right.
Yeah,
If
you
you're
have
doing
more
something that
energy.
you love, right? It's
You can
like
meet,
this is my
you have
passion,
energy
right?
to meet up with friends after work or to have dinners
Yeah.
or do other things that are meaningful. Like people who are in jobs that are meaningless, they suck your soul. They make you tired. And
Yeah.
basically the only thing you do is probably eat and watch a show and be like, I'm done. You know, like I was like,
It's funny you mentioned that because I was just telling a friend of mine this today. My team in Florida wants me to come down. They want to do like some sort of little Christmas thing, and they want me to come down. And I'm like, I really don't want to go. It's like I'm cool working with y'all, but like I don't want to hang out with y'all. I don't want to like break bread with y'all. I don't. And they're like, oh well, you can stay at one of our houses. I don't want to stay at that house. Like, I don't want to do it. It's like no. I want to sit here, do my job, and that's it. I don't want to meet with these people. But
yeah, there could be some benefits in it. I'm not. I mean, you obviously know better than I do as to like if these people are But like when people have seen you in person, they're more likely to give you certain leeways, right? Like you're not just a number or faceless thing anymore. And when you ask for a favor, they're more likely to give it to you. I'm just saying, like there's a certain benefit you can be Machiavellian about it.
I don't want to see them fools outside of work.
Listen, Shannon just flew up to Maryland to go to Virginia to meet with his coworkers for a 5-hour training. A 5-hour training. And I mean he's staying there to see his family and stuff like that while he's there. But that was all he had. He's like, I just feel like it's important for me we don't meet that often to do this training to show my, whatever, solidarity and faith. And and because he's the only one that's living out of state, even though they're all remote. He's the only one living out of state. I don't know if this
at the end of the day, it could make his job smoother. Like I'm saying,
right,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like, when you ask for a favor, you might or would probably be more likely to get it after having.
That's what the camera is for. I can see you that way. I ain't got to comply.
Agreed.
I'm just giving the argument. I wouldn't go either.
I know. But it's like I agree with you, John. It's like it's funny because we used to have like Christmas parties and stuff, and I would never go to Christmas parties. It's like, why don't you ever go to the Christmas party? I'm like, I don't like working with y'all Monday through Friday. Why do you think I want to hang out with you on the weekend? Like, no.
I mean, this is funny that I'm known as the urban legend at my job, like or Bigfoot because I do have size 18. But like seriously,
that's big.
They don't ever see me. They don't ever see. You're lucky if you ever see me.
Malcolm's like the ghost. He's like,
oh yeah, because one of my Facebook friends posted, so when is your company Christmas party and are you going? I commented, I don't know and I don't care. I just work with them fools. I'm not going.
I'm like, if I like you, yes, I would want to hang out with you. And there are certain people that I have worked with in the past, and like we're best friends. Like we hang out all the time. I got people coming over my house that I work with, and we're cool. But not everybody I work with I want to hang out with. And it's just like, no, like, y'all stay over there. I don't know y'all like that.
The other team leads that I work with, they like, well, let's share each other's Instagram and Facebook. John, we don't have yours, and you're not getting it.
Absolutely not. No. That's what LinkedIn is for. You can follow me on LinkedIn all the time. You don't have access to my Instagram. You don't have access to my Facebook. You better not find me on TikTok.
And then here's the other one. And we need everybody's personal cell phone number. John, we don't have yours. You're not getting it. Right here is personal. I don't want you to have my personal stuff.
Are they paying your cell phone bill?
Exactly. If you want to reach me, that's why we have the MOD line. Call me through that.
Yeah.
You don't need my number.
Yeah. I mean, it's boundaries. Yes.
Yes, very much so.
I totally agree. I mean, it's true. I was thinking about this before. I don't give any sort of personal information to my coworkers.
Let's share our Facebook. You ain't getting shit from me.
Yeah.
One person I did work with did find me on TikTok, and he said, I thought I recognized you. I said, please don't tell anybody else.
Well, you know, of course, with 6 degrees of separation and the algorithms, somebody said that I came up in their friends list as a suggestion, and they sent me. I said, delete, block. No.
That's exactly
delete, block.
My dad tried to follow me on Instagram, but I'm private on Instagram. It's like, you know, I'm not going to accept that.
Shoot. You come to work tomorrow. John, I sent you a friend request. Never got it.
No, what you should do is be like, and what?
That's hilarious.
Never got it. Never. I mean, I had blocked him. That's just never got it. Well, let me go ahead. I still can't find you. Oh, okay.
That's funny. That's for a reason.
You will not get nothing.
Right.
Do we have any comments or questions?
We do. Mr. Taylor, sorry I'm late, y'all. I was
occupied in double quotes. Wait a minute now.
Oh, girl, what you doing, girl? Was you doing the bending?
Let me find out. Let me go on your Instagram and see what you've been doing.
Oh God.
Ox says, I've never seen Malcolm and the Hulk in the same room before. Suspicious.
Oh God.
In years past, my job would take our department out to some fancy place for the holidays. I made sure to order the $18 steak and have it go with some ginger ale. You ain't about to see me lit.
Yeah.
Oh, were you counting wrinkles on the stink star?
Yowza.
Oh, that reminded me of something. I don't know if y'all, if you're a patron, we have a group on Telegram.
I saw that today.
Saw that?
I was like, yes, I did.
Was getting a tattoo around their stink star.
Gosh.
I was like, oh, let's see.
How?
And I counted the wrinkles. And I counted the wrinkles.
I was like, that seems uncomfortable for both people involved, the tattoo artist and the person. It's just like, this is just, But then I guess afterwards it's kind of sexy. It was.
What do they want? Like a permanently pink hole, or
yeah, it was like,
they have
snowflake or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. They were doing like a pattern.
They were doing a pattern around their ass.
A pattern, as John says, a pattern.
A pattern.
A pattern. It was beautiful. Just like I don't want to think about how that got there.
Right. Tattoo artist, like, good grief.
That's dedication right there.
I hope he got paid well for that one. Because
I hope he didn't pass gas while he was doing
right.
it.
You all
I hope he got paid well for that one, because it's like, child, you're not about to fart in my face. like $20 for this, bitch.
No,
like 3 times what I normally get. Hazard pay.
For sure. All right, so we're gonna be going to Patreon in a bit. If you would like to support M3, go to patreon.com/mailmediamind, and we have after shows. I have the M3 Bearcast early for patrons, and we also have what I was talking about, the Telegram groups and other things that we like to do for our patrons to say thank you.
And you can count the wrinkles on that stink star.
You can see that stink star for yourself if you become
right.
But I have some funny videos. Let's see. Here we go.
Stones, you can do anything, right?
I believe so.
So, hypothetically,
using that, could we double resources?
So everyone has enough to live.
You don't need to anyone,
right?
Then you have everything, and then everyone's like, "Yay, Thanos!"
Right, I see what you're saying.
Oh, that would bring up your like your
Approval rating.
Right,
approval ratings.
but would that just end up doubling the population, the next generation?
Well, I think if you, is it
Because
crazy
if there's
to
more
say?
resources, everyone keeps breeding.
But is it crazy to say that if we half, they're just going to repopulate?
Like, yeah, we could just be having that same problem again. Like, why not 3/4 of them?
It's not a bad idea.
You know what?
Go ahead. Yeah, you know what?
Or
Instead of half,
triple
3/4.
the resources.
Oh, that's another way to look at it too. Or quadruple, or even 10 times the
Not even
resources.
stuck with
Then we end up with the same problem.
Okay.
Everyone's just banging and banging and banging.
Maybe they Everyone's gay? Think everyone gay? Snap the fingers?
No, that'll one
Everyone
generation.
forever now we're done.
Everyone's
After
gay.
No, that's
Yeah, but
insane.
then, no, but that
That's insane because if we do that, all it would take is one more generation, and then everybody's gone.
Let me finish. They're gay, but they know they have to have sex to keep going. So it's more like a chore, but they do it, but they're not going to overdo it.
It's too complicated. It's
You know,
too complicated.
How is that too complicated?
well, I mean,
Now
we
you got rules. You got gay rules,
No, you snap.
right?
Everyone's gay.
Oh god. It's a bear playing with a balloon.
Rich, what you mean? You have a lot of possessions, a lot of money in the bank. Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life.
T'Challa.
I think that's what they're going for. Vampire cat.
Yeah, that's T'Challa.
Wait, this kill me.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
That's a whole panther.
But the
What is
fire
that?
is so delightful.
In the house.
And since we've no
I know,
place
they do
to
that.
go,
Come on, buddy.
This is so sad.
Whose hair is all in that bed?
All right now, Derek. Either stay in or come out, but close that door. You letting all the cold air out. You think money just grow on trees? Not never. All right, now let's get to the song. I'm from the trees. What you know about me? Big M-A-S-I-N to the E. 50 kids with a snatch body, and every time an acorn drop, you know I A-T-E. I'm that squirrel, yo, get like me. Climb a pole any day just to get to the trees. Derek, the mic drop. Derek, the mic drop. Hurry up, pick it up. I gotta get to my part. Here we go. I'm we're authentic.
Oh god.
Oh, oh, God.
Oh god. The little killing this one. Can't walk.
Waffle, bacon, egg, and cheese pie. You've never seen
This
a
is one of those
breakfast pie
everyone's so
quite
creative
like
they're
this one
actually like.
before. We're going to arrange the waffles in a floral pattern around this pan with some pie dough on the bottom, and now we're going to go with our classic breakfast ingredients, bacon, egg, and cheese right in the middle. Bake it off until everything is set and cooked, and now you've got a balanced breakfast with a cool waffle accent
that
right on the
bullshit.
crust there to catch all of that beautiful maple.
Excuse me. Oh, I saw this. Oh, my bad.
Nah, you good, you good, you good. Excuse me.
Oh shit! What's wrong with you, bro? Swear to God, bro. It's a prank, bro.
I was kind of turned on by that. I was like,
Y'all play too much. Like
He was about to say, "Don't come on here with that gay shit." He didn't say it, but he's.
I mean, he fine. I would say that. Like I wouldn't want to do that, but y'all play too much.
Oh God.
Hey, this is kind of creepy.
I know, right?
Look at that child.
We don't do white cats right here.
Oh God. On that note.
Oh God.
Well, yeah, we're
Sammy
gonna.
says yes, Hulk and Superman were given sexy, but that's just me.
I was actually here for Batman. Them pecs on Batman was doing it.
Okay, on that.
Was it only me? But the Hulk didn't look like he gained any weight. He looked the same.
I think you can't make the Hulk that much bigger. Like,
Right.
it's just ginormous.
Right.
Yeah, that's your point. But yeah, come back for tomorrow night at 7. We will get that changed.
7 o'clock, y'all. 7, not 8.
7.
And of course, we're gonna have a rerun on Saturday. I'm gonna find one of his more popular episodes where Greg is, chopping it up.
Mm-hmm.
You can make sure to join us on Sunday for the Blurred Council, and I will also be having lunch with Devon on Monday at noon.
Give me my money.
And make sure to join us for the swag suite on Tuesday. You can follow John at the Double J Chronicles on Instagram and subscribe to the M3 Bearcast on all these places. We're going to Patreon. We'll see you on the other side. Thanks for joining. Here we go. We're on Patreon, and I'd like to usually have like an extra topic. Let's see if I can find it here. And it's basically another like relationship topic. It was about whether or not let me see if I can remember what it was about. It was basically about the idea that maybe not everyone wants to be in a relationship. Like there was a certain sort of societal expectation or even a romantic ideal that there's someone for everyone. But this video, I guess, it kind of tries to challenge that. I'm going to play it real quick.
Anyone who lives alone and manifests no longing to be in a relationship is in our times almost automatically, more or less secretly, viewed as both pitiable and deeply troubled. It's simply not thought possible to be at once alone and normal. This sets us up for collective catastrophe, because it means that a huge number of people who have no innate wish to live with anyone else and are at heart deeply ill-suited to doing so are every year press-ganged and shamed into conjugal life, with disastrous results for all involved. Only once singlehood has completely equal prestige with its alternative can we ensure that people will be free in their choices, and hence join couples for the right reasons, because they love another person, rather than because they're terrified of remaining single. Here then are a few of the many good reasons to spend your life alone. Because romantic love is a dangerous illusion. We should recognize that romantic love, the idea of being deeply enamored of one special partner over a whole lifetime, is a very new, ambitious, and really pretty odd concept, at best 250 years old. From close up, over long periods of time, almost everyone is condemned to be pretty dispiriting and difficult. A good romantic marriage is evidently theoretically possible, but it's also extremely unlikely in practice, which should make any failure feel a good deal less shameful. No one thinks their partner is terrific after a while. Those among us who choose to stay single shouldn't be thought unromantic. Indeed, we may be among the very most romantic of all, because it is in the end the fervent romantics who should be especially careful of ending up in mediocre relationships. Relationships best suit the kind of people who don't actually expect too much from them. We aren't sane enough to be in relationships. Though it's a sign of some maturity to know how to love and live alongside someone, it is actually a sign of even greater maturity to recognize that this is something one isn't in the end going to be psychologically capable of, as a good portion of us simply are not. Retiring oneself voluntarily in order to save others and oneself from the consequences of one's own inner emotional turmoil is the true sign of a great and kind soul. Being alone means not inflicting yourself on others. It spares you from constant reminders of how difficult and strange you are. No one is there to hold a mirror up, record your antics, and constantly make you accountable for them. If you're lucky, you'll be able to tolerate and even like yourself if you're on your own. Relationships spoil love. It may be better to feel alone and be denied sex outside of a relationship than inside one. One thing the single are never denied is hope. All this isn't to say that being alone is without problems. There are, of course, drawbacks to both states, being single and being in a couple. Loneliness in the one, suffocation, anger, and frustration in the other. The truth is, we're simply not terribly good at being happy, whatever our relationship status, which is ultimately an argument for neither rushing too fast into a couple nor rushing too fast out of one.
he was reading towards the end, like he said, nobody to hold up a mirror to you to show you. I was like, oh, girl, you're trying to read the single girls now, girl. I thought you were on 18, but I don't think nobody are people really shaming people nowadays for being single? Is that a thing?
I think it's so ubiquitous that I don't think you have to. It's sort of an expectation. If someone were to say that they are done with a relationship, or like, let's say someone who had a marriage 20 years and they say, you know what, I'm good. Like I had a long relationship. I don't want to get in a relationship anymore. I say, oh, you don't change your mind. You're eventually gonna get one. Like people so you just going through a phase like, no, bitch, I'm done. I'm good. Like I am going to be single for the rest of my life and happy. I think a lot of people are sus, find that sus. They think that you're going to change your mind or regret that decision. But I think one of the things that they challenged, the first one was the idea that you can love someone passionately for the rest of your life. And in fact, having that sort of expectation is almost setting you up to be disappointed, right?
Oh, definitely. That's not a reality at all. I mean, just the other day, my boss goes on tangents all the time, and he was talking about, I forget what this was related to, but he was saying him and his wife been married 37 years. And he said, at one point they thought about calling it quits because it was just a tough time. And he said they just decided, you know what? I'm going to choose to love you right now. I'm going to choose to love you through whatever this is that we're going through right now. And she decided the same thing, and I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Sometimes you just have to, if you want to stay with someone, you just have to make a choice to do it. It's not always, romantic and the thing that it's not always that. No,
right? No, I think that's a really good description too, is the love as a noun versus love as a verb. And that is a huge thing. And that, love is something you do. What was that? Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump was actually quoting someone else. I can't even remember who said it, but love is what love does, right? Like, you cannot be, beating on someone and say that you love them. You know what I'm saying?
Bitch, I love you, bitch. God damn. You don't even know how much I do for you, hoe.
Yeah, that's not love. Love is what love does, right? Like, it is a verb. And so, I can see that where there are some things as you grow as a person, you're not in alignment and you're like, I am choosing to love through this and find a way that we can align ourselves again later. I think another point that he made in there was that like some people are just not suited to be in a relationship.
Facts. Yeah.
And I don't think there's any way to change some of them. I have a friend who did say that, like he wants to be single. He's about to turn 70, and so like he's come to this realization that he's just not he's a prickly person, right? Like he's very particular about the way he wants things, and he will not compromise on anything. Like you are not suited for a relationship at all.
Oh yeah, you ain't got no compromising, you bitch.
He is very uncompromising.
Stay by yourself, bitch. Stay by yourself.
Basically.
Yeah.
And he tried it plenty of times, and not only that, he gets now that he's accepted that he's single, he's like, I'm gonna hoe. Like, I'm gonna have a trick every weekend. Like, let's do this.
Right. I mean, it's gotta be freeing to know that when you go, you don't have none of that baggage of will he like me.
You don't have to wrestle with himself anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, like it also means like I gotta hit the gym and I gotta be hot.
That's true. It is that part.
Because you are not gonna love me for my personality. So we go.
Girl, it's so hard to go to the gym when you got a man, bitch. It's hard.
That's true. That's happy weight. Because you don't need to.
I gotta post half-naked pictures of myself online, and you don't want to be in a relationship. You post yourself there.
If you made a choice, if you're gonna trick for the rest of your life, you better be fine. That's all.
Or rich.
Or rich. That's true. Maybe a little mix of both. Like have enough money to have like be a splendid daddy. You know.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, like you can spoil some trade,
Right.
Yeah, my Temu order has cleared customs. Yay.
Bitch, don't order nothing for Kufandi, whatever the fuck that shit called, bitch. I've been waiting a whole month for some shit from that bitch.
Oh no.
Kufandi or whatever the fuck it's called.
I've Temu as far as I've ventured. I haven't tried any other ones.
It's just so much stuff on here, though.
Yeah, I've been just dipping my toe in. Like I said, I replaced. We were talking about that. I replaced all my sheets and towels. Great.
That's where this shit came from. Temu.
And I'm just saying, having fresh everything just feels like I'm in a hotel. Like what the fuck?
And I'm right now. I'm scrolling through their lightning sale. Let me get my ass off this damn site.
They had a 4-pack of like hoodies for $30. I was like,
okay,
$7 hoodies.
Girl, Temu gonna have all of us on hoarders, girl.
Just surrounded by all these orange packages.
I was like, I can have a different hoodie for every workout. Like I don't even have to, you know what I'm saying?
No repeat.
No repeats. For $30.
Okay. I wear a new hoodie every day for a month. Laundry.
I know. I don't have to do it like once a week. Like that's great. But no.
Oh, that's why my electric fireplace from Temu came. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Where are you gonna install it? In your bedroom?
In the living room.
Okay.
I'm thinking about getting another. I'm thinking about getting another one for the bedroom.
Oh, that's right. Get that button, have that fireplace going, be like, hey.
And you know, and after I took it out the box, it is very good quality. It's sturdy, nice thick glass on it. I was like, okay, Temu, I see you.
Yeah. I think people are surprised by that. I know like Greg feels like it's some shit that you get from a garage sale or something. So, I mean, the price, it did feel like a scam. I was like, what is the scam? Like, how is it so cheap? And then I just realized, like,
not if I order. Not if I order from the local warehouse, sir. No tariff. They got that covered.
Yeah, that's true. Local warehouse. For at least a third of the things I can get locally.
John, fireplace at Barry White.
Oh, God.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Put it in the bedroom. Don't put it in the living room. That'll be a waste.
I said I was gonna get another one. I just wanted to see what this one was gonna be like. So I may just get another one. But this is what. Let me see if I can share. This is the one that I got. Where is it? There it is. Did it show?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. This is the one that I got.
Cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a remote control and everything.
A remote control, yes. And you got the different colors you can have, different flame colors, and a little different. Anyway, yeah. I'm okay with my choice.
Yeah.
Have a flame to match your decor.
Okay. I already played with the different color coordinations too.
See?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna get a smaller one for the bedroom probably.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you anyone else got any Black Friday deals? Anything interesting?
It's
Did
funny.
anybody do Black Friday this year?
I was thinking about buying because I had been saying like I wanted to get a new TV for the bedroom. And then I was like, why am I wanting to get a new TV for the bedroom? There's nothing wrong with the TV that's in my bedroom now. It's just like when I have it installed on the wall, it's like, oh, it kind of looks kind of small. I'm further away from my bed because like my bedroom is bigger now. So it's like now it look kind of small. But then it's like, but how much TV do I actually watch in the bedroom? Like I watch it at night and then I go to sleep. And that's it. So it's like, do I really need a new TV in there? No. So I talked myself out of it.
I've been thinking about one of those like projectors so I could just like watch it on the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
Let me see if they got that on Temu.
I'm putting it on a stand right next to me.
Like, have those projectors on Temu. I think they do. I think I saw somebody on TikTok talk about one and they love it. You know,
yeah.
I have one where like have earbuds, you know, so you can have the good sound.
You can play your porn.
Is it though? Is it really? I don't know. I don't know if I want to see a giant stink star like staring at my head.
You know, that's a good. I don't actually watch porn in my bedroom, which is weird. I never thought about that. But
where do you watch it?
I watch it in my work area, actually. So,
that's the last place I want to watch.
I don't know why. I just don't like watching porn in my bedroom. It's weird. I never even thought about why I do that, but I don't.
You got to get you a stand that like kind of projects and hangs over the bed a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that, so you can like, yeah.
I have a better screen on my workstation. So, yeah.
Now, who the hell would want 17-inch playing cards? That you can't play. How you gonna put it on? You can't play spades with that. What the hell?
That is a little weird. Yeah. I mean, I played like giant.
Is that on Temu?
Yeah.
Put it on the screen. I want to see that.
Okay, hold on.
17-inch playing card. Good lord.
Like.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't see your cards.
Yeah, that's some novelty shit.
Right.
I remember having a interesting.
Click on that next image, the one right below.
That's how big they are.
That's so crazy. And they're almost sold out. $5.40.
That's not bad. I mean, like
it really is. Let me put this in my cart right quick.
How do you trust it, though? That's the only thing. It's like
put that in your cart.
Oh my God, John. Yes, you
I do know what I do want to get though. It's not from Temu though. Have y'all heard about this? This Uno that's got like draw 10 cards.
Yeah,
like
it's called Extreme Uno.
Yeah, I want to get that.
They had it at Walmart.
I want to get that.
Still got it.
That seems like rage-inducing. Like when someone
it is.
right?
Uno by itself is already bad enough as it is. Can you imagine?
Sights.
They're throwing like a draw 10 down.
Like that's
the stuff. That's the stuff Family Feuds are made of.
Oh no!
Wait
a minute.
You knew I had but one card left, and you threw down that draw 10 and made me lose.
Okay, it's called Uno Show 'em No Mercy. They got it at Walmart.
Okay,
yeah, we have that.
Do you?
Y'all
Yeah,
got
Shannon,
it?
he loves to buy anytime a new Uno card thing come out. He come up to the house with it. He loves the Uno.
So have y'all played it?
Yeah, we played him and
He
I
made
played
you
it.
draw 10?
Yeah.
Did you cuss him out afterwards?
No, because I had some crazy cards too. So I was like, girl, you gonna get it.
Do y'all stack?
Oh yeah, you stack.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, make sure you understand the rules before y'all start playing, because it's nothing worse than getting going and then you do something then like, wait a minute, we didn't discuss that before, bitch. Shut up.
Listen, we had an Uno moment like that over Thanksgiving, but I let it go because I was like, these are guests, girl. Let it go, girl. You let it go. Because they gotta be here 3-4 more days. I was like, let it go. If it was like they were leaving that night, bitch, I would have went to the mat, but I let it go.
Because if I'm not mistaken, in regular Uno, you really are not supposed to stack, correct?
No, you're not supposed to, but
okay.
If the house,
we've always done it though.
Yeah, how we do. Like, we've been making up shit.
Because I'll sit there like skip you, reverse you, draw 2, draw 4, Uno, I'm out, bitch.
It makes games go a lot faster.
It does.
I'm gonna have to order. Let me put this in my cart.
I think I was that kind of nerd when I was a kid that I actually created my own games, which is funny. But I've seen people do that now and selling them online. I was like, I mean, it was usually based on like Dungeons and Dragons, but I would do like simplified versions of it. But,
Okay, John, get off Temu. Let's stop. Just stop. Because I will be putting stuff in my cart all night.
Funny thing is, they've been selling like versions of that. They just came out with another Marvel version of Dungeons and Dragons. I forget what one. Yeah.
To me though, it's just fun sometimes just to put stuff in the cart, even though you don't buy it. Like I'll go through Amazon. I'll have thousands of dollars worth of shit in my cart, and then I just be like, yeah, girl, you know you're not gonna get that.
Right.
It's classic window shopping.
But the good thing about it is on the Temu, I don't know if Amazon, I think Amazon does too, but on Temu, if you put it in your cart or you put it on your wish list, when the price drops, they send you a little message. The price didn't drop. Go ahead and order.
Yeah. I found out.
Alexa be telling me like, you know that thing you got in your cart? Well, it's now on sale. You want to go ahead and order it? Stay out of my cart.
That's the funny thing I was just about to mention is that Alexa or Echo was designed just to sell their products. Like the device itself lost them money. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
As a matter of fact, I heard that. I think they said that they're going to start phasing it out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
What they're going to phase out?
Alexa or the Echoes, because they're losing money on it. $26 billion, by the way, over the past 12 years.
Yeah, I guess I'm okay with it because this Alexa bitch, she'll be sitting up there talking about, John, by the way, you're out of, did you want me to order those now? No, ho.
That was the thing. That was the whole design or the evil plan was to get you to buy shit with their Nobody ever buys shit through your speaker.
Mine goes off. It's funny because mine will tell me that a package has arrived, but ever since I moved, it's like 2 or 3 hours later it'll tell me that.
Because you're in a bunker.
Right. It's like it used to tell me like within seconds like a package has arrived, but now it's like 3 hours later and I see it flash and it's like your package has arrived. I'm like, bitch, I didn't already picked up that package.
Yeah, I need them.
There's nothing worse than you getting a package and be like, did I order something? I have done that. I have just like, wait a minute, did I order? Oh yeah, I did order something.
But yeah, I think they're gonna basically replace that with some of the apps on your phone. Like,
I mean, you get a notification when I get a notification when something gets delivered, so it's like I really don't need it to tell me that.
Yeah.
But
it's one of the things.
Now that I have to ring the doorbell, like as soon as somebody come up the driveway, it's like, ding, 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 ding.
Like they're getting smarter about like prioritizing your notifications. So like things like deliveries and stuff will pop up. But like 10 messages on Discord won't, like come on.
Okay. Right. Alexa, approach your packets.
Yeah.
Can you zap them, Alexa?
I still got to like one of those Ring doorbells I got to install because I was just thinking like it would be easy.
Speaking of which,
Hmm.
now about 3 years ago, my mom said that my stepdad wanted one of those, so we chipped in and we got him one. That bitch still has not installed that thing. It's like, well, if you wanted it so bad, why is it still in the box? Like,
It's
for real?
intimidating to me. I got it for Christmas last year, so I haven't installed it for a whole year. It's sitting over there. I charged it. You know, you charge the battery, and then you got to go to the breaker switch and cut off the electricity to it and mount it, screw in the mount, and then mount it on them. I'm just like,
Well, my brother installed it at Mama's house, and she loved it. She be sitting in there, the little thing go on for movement on the porch. Here she go, what do you want?
yeah, I need to go ahead and get that. That
Yeah,
would be-
it's good. We love ours. We do.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, you it kind of makes you feel a little bit better about your packages being delivered and you're not home. At
Yeah.
least you can record the thief if they stole it. You know,
Yeah. Although I
know.
think I've seen those videos where someone steals a package and flicks off the camera as they steal it.
I just love it because, like, I can tell who's at my door, and I can either pretend like I'm not home or be like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
good.
that video clip of somebody at K Michelle's house, and she was dancing in the camera. Get your raggedy ass off my porch.
I heard people saying that like they dance in front of people's Ring cameras to have an alibi, like in case it's like in case someone got murdered, I'll say you hear a gunshot somewhere, it's like dance. Making sure that you know they weren't over there. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. The world we live in. I think we're gonna end it there. All right.